This episode, we go back to November 9th, 1990.
Yeah, when Madonna released her first greatest hits album, The Immaculate Collection, and Alek Keshishian brought you Madonna's first documentary movie, Truth or Dare.
Hey, welcome to my so-called podcast. I'm Gary Linton.
And I'm Eric Spiegel.
Hey, Eric.
Hi, Gary.
How you doing?
Super. I'm excited to be doing this podcast.
Yeah, this
It's
podcast, my so-called podcast.
My so-called podcast. The podcast where we take you back to the 90s. Our shtick is we go back in time to a week and we review a album and a movie that were released that week.
Yeah, normally we do that.
Yeah.
Normally.
Sort of fudged this time.
Yeah.
But the Immaculate Collection did come out November 9th, 1990.
Okay.
And Madonna Truth or Dare.
Ooh. Are we talking about Madonna?
Oh, we're talking about Madge.
Okay. So, do we have a member of your family on the podcast?
And a member of the Madonna fan club.
Oh, wow.
1990.
Because the last time we talked about Madonna, I believe your father was on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
We should have my mom to talk about erotica. My sister's here. Beth Vaccaro. Or you want to be Elizabeth Vaccaro?
No, Beth is fine.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Nee Spiegel.
Yeah. I think it's Nay.
Oh, is it? Well,
It's got an
I've always
A.
read it.
Oh, okay.
So.
She does have Spiegel knees, too. We used to say that growing up. It's an
Thanks
inherited
for getting that out of
characteristic.
the way.
Welcome, Beth.
Thank you for having me.
We were here, we were wanting to talk about something, and you immediately jumped in and said the Immaculate Collection. We were going to see something that came out that same week, but then at the end, at the 11th hour, I was like, we should do Truth or Dare.
Yeah, I was in the middle of watching Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
And I went, "Rrrr!" like a record scratch, because I was listening to the soundtrack also. And
You're watching it on Laserdisc?
Yeah. And turned on Truth or Dare. Madonna's Truth or Dare.
Well, I've never seen Jacob's Ladder, so I still like to do that in the future. You could have just finished the movie yet.
Nope. I threw it out the window. And I had to pay a glass guy to come and fix the window.
Oh, yeah. So you threw the Laserdisc through a window.
Yeah.
I feel like you weren't watching it correctly if you were using a needle anyway. You're supposed to use a laser.
Oh. That's the laser part of Laserdisc.
Although you could be forgiven. They're the same size as an LP, and you have to flip them.
Yep. Yeah, I did flip it. Flip it off, if you know what I mean. I
You
gave
didn't,
it the finger.
you didn't like it so
no,
far?
it was alright.
Well, so this is November 9th, 1990.
Oh, yeah, we like to take the listener back.
Like back in time.
Yep.
Back in time.
And so what we're going to do, Beth, is we're going to go and ask each other some...
I'll hold your horses,
Oh, okay,
Gary.
okay.
I'd like to pump
Whoa.
the brakes there a little
Okay.
bit. November 1990, the Immaculate Collection's coming out, Beth. You're 14. 15.
I'm a solid
14.
15
You just turned 15.
in 3 days. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I don't know
3
if
days
that's a salad.
before
know
this
if
came.
that's
Did you get
salad.
this for your birthday? My question was, did you need this? Because didn't you have everything already?
No, I didn't have erotica. And
Well, erotica was 92.
Oh.
So it hadn't come
Doesn't
out
this
yet.
have...
Okay.
So this might have come and gone and been like, meh. Oh, no, but you wouldn't have had any way to listen to Justify My Love.
That is correct. No, I had a bootleg copy of Justify My Love and had to watch the video at a friend's house.
Okay. So you picked Madonna, I would imagine, because you were a huge Madonna fan at the time, correct?
Yes, and before and a little bit after, and then, my love for her faded.
Right, so you were a huge fan of Madonna in the 80s. I think this is the peak of your love for her, and probably the peak of her fame.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Blonde Ambition tour, that whole thing. I mean, you could choose where you pick the peak, but I mean, like, Sex, the book, is probably on the downward end of it, and the Like a Prayer is kind of on the upward, but like in the middle was this tour and this movie and everything, and the greatest hits compilation. So it was a big time for Madonna. And just to get it out there, like, so you're 14, turning 15, and you're way into Madonna. Now you're a therapist.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think you had like a poster, a really big poster on your wall? She was your number one person. You even had the
number one person.
What was the dance? Shut Up and Dance. No, that's Paula Abdul. The dance remix cassette.
Yes, I did.
That had "Where's the Party" on it.
Absolutely.
That and you went to Grandpa Pigeon's and bought that for like $13.
I did with my own money.
Yeah. So thoughts, therapist.
So I have
15-year-old Beth.
Yeah, I have given this quite a bit of thought. I think that Madonna was sort of like everything that I wished that I could have been. This feisty, solid, confident woman that just like completely embodied who she was unapologetically. And I was probably the antithesis at 15 years old of not really feeling comfortable in my own skin and really wanting to speak my mind, but not even knowing what that was. And so she kind of did it for me.
I see. So you could project yourself onto her.
Oh, she just did it for... Yeah, I think she just did it for me.
Yeah.
And I could, imagine having parts of that incorporated, but...
How much of it was transgressive for you?
Oh, quite a lot. I mean,
because Mom didn't like that you liked her.
No, I got the Like a Prayer album, and she had her top button of her jeans unbuttoned, and it was just a photo, basically, of her crotch.
Midriff.
Midriff. I mean, crotch if you're a mother. And Mom colored that in with a pin. I mean, that was sort of the caveat to owning it, was that she was going to deface it a bit.
That was, I remember the Like a Prayer video was... kind of a big deal. There's a lot of news. Then like Pepsi drop her or something like that.
Pepsi paid $5 million for her to be on their new ad campaign before Like a Prayer came out. Right. And then they saw the Like a Prayer video and they were like, no thanks.
Right. But didn't they...
We're going to take a pass. How about you eat and drink a Coke?
Like, doesn't she trip drinking a Pepsi? And I don't remember. I think there's a video or a commercial of Madonna drinking a Pepsi that's kind of like the Like a Prayer video.
It is-ish, yeah. But there's like soda involved.
Yeah. What video?
Like a Prayer, or maybe it was just a commercial. But
I think they did use the song.
Yeah,
they used the song.
The commercial, yeah. So there was. I think it aired once. Okay. I remember watching it in our kitchen on that little TV. Yeah. And it had burning crosses.
Yeah,
it
right.
Did.
Yeah.
Which would make your Pepsi warm, actually.
But I mean, I watched that video a few nights ago. I watched some of her videos to warm up for this, and it's so tame by comparison now. Like, there's really nothing in that video that's upsetting to me in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I mean, in the current climate.
Right.
What's going to upset you these days?
That's true. I mean, to me. Yeah. I don't think that would be afraid for my children to watch, is what I'm saying. Like, there was nothing in it that, like, freaked me out.
Right.
That I don't know. I mean, she obviously has some stuff, after that would have been, NC-17, but not that video.
No.
It's just a little confusing.
Well, I think it all makes sense. She is... So the real thing that happens in that video is that she watches a girl getting attacked by these dudes in an alley, and then a guy comes to help her, and at that moment the cops show up, and he's a black guy, and she eventually, spoiler alert, by the end of the video goes to the police station and says, hey, I saw it all, he's okay. But then that whole thing plays out, and then on the other side, it's her walking into a church, and in the cage of the church is this saint, and he looks like the
comes
black
alive.
guy. And the statue comes alive,
Mm-hmm.
and he dances, and they sing the song and everything, and then at the end he goes back into the cage. But they cut that where the police station looks like the church, and the cage looks like the jail, and I guess she's saving him, or he's saving her, or something. Mm-hmm. But it's not confusing.
No.
I think the burning crosses are because of racism. I mean, it's not that confusing.
No.
I don't know.
Madonna.
I think it's fine. I like that song. Madonna. All right. So that was what was going on for us. We'll get back to talking Madonna.
Yep.
More in both parts of our show.
Yeah.
A lot of Madonna. Madonna all the time.
Exactly.
Madge.
A lot of Madonna.
If you want to get tired of saying Madonna, you can say Esther, Maddie, Queen of Reinvention, Mo, the Material Girl, M, Nani, the Queen of Pop, or Madge.
Okay.
So, if you want to just, twirl those in.
Right. I may ask you
Madonna,
to give me those again throughout the podcast.
Esther, Maddie, Queen of Reinvention, Mo, the Material Girl, M, Nani, Queen of Pop, Madge.
Okay. So, Beth, what we like to also do is get you, the listener, into the 90s frame by asking some questions to each other. Mm-hmm. Eric's going to ask me a question. I'm going to try to answer it. And then I will ask him a question, and then he'll try to answer it.
It goes back and forth.
Exactly.
Like that.
And your role is, if Eric asks me a question, I'm like, I don't know. Beth, do you know? You can answer.
All right.
And if I ask Eric a question and he doesn't know, he could ask you for help, and you can help him.
You are the constant phone a friend. And if you want to sabotage somebody, you can. If you want to help somebody.
I don't think we've had anybody sabotage.
No, but I always offer it up as
You
a
do,
possibility.
yeah, exactly.
Just
because,
to mix things up.
Yeah, if you really want to, you can. So, I'm losing. I got 6 points. Gary's got 10. We're playing at 20.
That's right.
Whoever wins gets steaks.
Yeah.
Because we found that it wasn't fun to have
you
trivia
need
without
to have
steaks.
I think we made that joke 40 episodes ago.
Yeah, it's a little running gag now, Gary. So I'll ask you first, or you'll ask me first.
I'll ask you first.
Okay.
All right. What star of Crybaby invented grunge, according to director John Waters?
Johnny Depp?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he invent grunge?
I don't know. You'll have to ask John Waters.
Okay. I will.
Okay.
I would like to talk to John Waters about that.
Me too. Can I be on that episode too?
I think the episode where we have John Waters on would be a good one.
Can we talk about Pecker?
Sure.
I've told you about how I had him sign that.
Yeah.
And I said, it's a good one. The director and writer. I said, it's a good one.
Was it a VHS copy?
It was a DVD copy.
What did he say?
He's like, thanks. And then he kind of looked at it and he was like, Eddie Furloin. I don't know what has happened to him.
He did?
No.
Oh. You were like, did you see Pet Sematary 2? He was in that.
Right. I got out of line. I let the people. I wasn't holding up the line.
I read an article in the New York Times this weekend about David Sedaris. He has a new book, and when he does book signings, he hangs out afterwards and signs everybody's books and talks to everybody for quite some time.
Oh yeah.
Until he leaves at 2 a.m. after those because he spends a lot of time with people.
So generous.
But they say that he gets his kicks by being kind of weird with people.
Absolutely.
He likes to ask people, do you think you'll have an abortion this summer?
That's where the title Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls came from. He just wrote that in one woman's book.
It's pretty funny. All right, Gary.
All right.
What states Al's Oasis restaurant billed its bison burgers as being from the herd that appeared in Dances with Wolves?
So Hold on, where was that filmed? Dances with Wolves, Wyoming?
Or a Dakota?
Oh, yeah. Let's do... Oh, which one? North or South?
I'm going to go for South Dakota.
South Dakota.
We didn't get it.
Oh, nice.
Right, South Dakota.
Excellent.
I knew that.
Oh, yeah.
I actually had been to Deadwood, South Dakota, on a vacation out west with my friend Paul. And all over Deadwood, there's pictures of Kevin Costner because he has heavily invested in South Dakota and rural areas and things like that.
Pictures of him from
Truth or Dare.
Oh, yeah, also in Truth or Dare.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a picture of him with a mullet, and he just signed it. That was neat.
And a picture of Madonna on the side sticking her finger in her mouth.
I have things to say about that. Should I just say it right now?
No,
Yeah.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it in the second half.
We have to wait.
Teaser. Stick around for
Stick around for the second half when my trenchant part things to say about that 20-second part of Truth or Dare.
All right, here we go. What Don Juan DeMarco star's turbulent love life inspired a bumper sticker reading, "Honk if you've never been engaged to him"?
Marlon Brando? Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Is it Johnny Depp?
It's all Johnny Depp.
All right.
It's a Johnny Depp card.
Winona Forever.
Yep.
What kids show host lived in a house with Cherry, Clocky, and Conky?
Oh, that's Pee Wee Herman.
It is.
Yep. Noise.
That's right.
All right. Final question to you. What Seinfeld character often yelled "Get out" while delivering a savage two-handed push to the chest?
Oh, she said, "Get out!"
Yeah.
Yeah. Not "get out."
Right, no.
That's Jordan Peele.
Well, you can.
That's Elaine Bennis.
No, it is Johnny Depp.
Good one, Gary.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Whose 1990 fashion statement did Mr. Blackwell sum up as "Yentl's gone mental"?
I don't know.
Barbara Streisand.
Oh, Barbara Streisand? Nice. Thanks, Beth. Yeah, thank you very much. I did not.
Anytime.
Yep. So that was trivia.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks for playing, Gary.
3 for 3.
We both got 3.
Yep.
So 13-9. Nothing happened.
Still no
this week.
progress on the stakes.
No.
Well, no, we're progressing towards stakes.
Yeah.
Much closer than we were. I can smell those charcoals getting
That's
lit.
not what you're smelling.
Oh, there's a gas leak.
Yeah.
So
You're gonna give us the
first
top 10
part
singles.
of the show, Gary, is when we talk about the album.
Yep.
And we've gotten into that 1990s spirit already.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're going to get into that 1990 pop spirit by seeing what was on the charts. That's what we do. The top 10 singles.
Top 10 singles.
So, Gary.
Yep.
Did the band Poison have more than one slow jam ballad?
In their career or on the charts?
On the charts.
Oh, I'm going to
Not
go with...
this week, but on the charts.
Ever?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with no. Maybe just the one.
You think they just had Every Rose Has Its
Yeah.
Thorn? That's wrong.
Oh, I had a 50-50 chance.
There's no points for that, though.
Okay.
They had this song that was number 10 this week, Something to Believe In.
Well, I wouldn't call this a slow jam. I mean, this is a rocker.
It's a power ballad, dude. This is off of Flesh and Blood.
Oh, yeah, Poison. All right.
The next song
all
is...
the songs, are you?
The next... You always ask me that, and then it makes me want to do it.
Okay.
The next song is Knockin' Boots by Candyman.
Oh, yeah.
How's that go?
Oh, boy, I love you so. Never, ever gonna let you go.
Attention all ladies. The Candyman is on the... But how'd you get
Yeah.
I'm just a performer.
Oh, so this was sampled in that Shaggy song?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. You gotta wait till the chorus. My older sister, Joanna, she had this on Single.
The single?
Yeah.
Yes. The cassette single.
Once I get my hands on you.
We're gonna be knocking the boots.
I didn't know the name to that song.
Number 8, Groove is in the Heart by D-Light.
Fantastic.
That was a Beth Vaccaro favorite
It was.
of the era. Number 7, Black Cat by Janet Jackson. Black Cat. Is
that from the Rhythm Nation album?
And you never die. I think it's from, Rhythm Nation.
Or Control. Because Control was earlier.
Rhythm Nation, 1814 or whatever. There's a Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation joke in Truth or Dare. I always thought of this as being her answer to Dirty Diana, because it was this heavy rockin' thing.
You can tell Janet Jackson by the hollow drums.
You can what?
Like the hollow drum sound. Like the drums have a very hollow drum.
That's oh yeah. More Than Words Can Say by Alias. You guys know that one?
No.
I know More Than Words.
Right.
By Extreme.
Right.
Alias. More Than Words Can Say.
All right, what's the next song?
We'll skip into it.
I need you now.
Now, I would have bet $1 million that song was called I Need You Now.
Well, you would have lost those $1 million. So it's a good thing you didn't make that bet.
That is correct.
Number 5, I Don't Have the Heart by James Ingram. Is that I don't have the heart to know you.
Sounds right.
Something.
I'll have to play that on the cardiac ward.
I know you need this transplant, the cardiologist says.
Exactly.
But
Click.
this play. I don't have the heart. This is number 4 is called Giving You the Benefit. And that is by Pebbles.
She was a health insurer.
There she is.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what Pebbles is doing now.
Bam Bam.
Hanging out with Bam Bam.
Yeah.
This sounds like somebody created a fake song for a movie about 1990. Number 3, Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. Number 2, Pray by MC Hammer. That was the second single off of the one with You Can't Touch This, I think.
Yeah. Do you still have the pants in that one?
Please Hammer,
pants.
Don't Hurt Him, yeah. And then number 1 is Love Takes Time by...
Is it Mariah?
Oh, it's
it's Mariah.
It's Mimi. Love takes time to heal when you're hurting so much.
All right, those were the top 10 singles that were on the radio when Madonna released her greatest hits album.
Was blind.
Beth, we like to Beth, we like to start off the conversation about the album with like an either-or question. And it's my turn to ask an either-or, and I'm going to ask you, and you're going to answer it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to answer the question.
That's part of being our guest.
Okay, I
All
think
right.
I can do it.
So I think with Madonna's Immaculate Collection, it's a simple either this is the only Madonna album you need, or there are other Madonna albums that you should have in your collection.
I think this ought to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what makes you say that, I guess?
Well, it doesn't have songs like Dear Jessie, but that's all right.
What's Dear Jessie?
Yeah, what's Dear
Right,
Jessie?
you don't need that. See, that's why it's not on
Okay.
there.
Well, you know what it doesn't have?
What?
It doesn't have White Heat on it.
Yep, you don't need that either. You don't need Who's That Girl?
And then even like...
Wait, you don't need Who's That Girl? I think maybe you need Who's That Girl.
I mean,
What about
I think
I
Where's
don't
the
need
What
to-
about Where's the Party? We would be missing out on Where's the Party.
I found the party. It's good. You don't need the party.
What about True Blue? True Blue's not on here. That's an okay song.
It's okay, but your life is not incomplete without having that on.
Well, that's not what he asked.
I mean, yeah, if you're just wanting to give... well, I mean, I think this would be the best album to hand to somebody who's never heard Madonna before and be like, you want to get introduced to Madonna? Listen to this.
Right, but then would they just be upset if they tried to listen to anything else? Like her original single, Everybody?
No, they wouldn't be upset. I mean, because I gave it to somebody who was very chill. They don't get upset about stuff. But you can see why she became a big star.
Yeah, but the first album has Lucky Star, Borderline, and Holiday on it. That's pretty good for a debut album.
Yeah.
The other either or you could do is like, so this is her first greatest hits, and she's had another couple of greatest hits since then, I think, either one or two more.
Sure.
Do you think if you did a career spanning greatest hits, it would just be this one?
Oh, yeah.
Or would you add
You
some
would have
stuff
to have,
from 1990 on?
You might.
A
You
ray
might.
of, what's that? Ray of...
Ray of Light
Yeah.
and
Well, my
music.
dad would put stuff from Ray of
Yeah,
Light on.
yeah, he
liked
would. He
it.
wouldn't shut up about it.
You needed the card.
I love you, Dad.
What's your favorite Madonna song, I guess, Beth? Do you have a favorite?
Well, all right, so I think I have a tie. I like a Virgin because I think that sort of epitomizes the 1980s.
I was introduced to Like a Surgeon first.
Right.
Yeah.
Is
This is the Rockabye Baby version.
I wonder. I thought it was the xylophone. It's the Rockabye Baby like a Virgin, like Mommy used to be.
That might be a glockenspiel.
So you like a Virgin? Why?
Because it's just it's the raw in your face, stick it to the man kind of.
It's a pretty catchy
attitude.
song.
And it's a catchy song. Yeah.
That's a dirty song.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you think about the Blonde Ambition tour and all the crotch grabbing and all
a
of
lot
that,
of- yeah.
and all the breast cones and all that stuff.
I am thinking about that.
Think about all that.
Okay.
And I think that I was, thinking like, oh, she's really getting dirty. But like, this 84 is
Well,
Like a Virgin. That's
right.
a pretty dirty song.
She
It is a dirty
performed
song.
that. Then
I know. I think that's why I liked it.
she performed Like a Virgin in a wedding dress on those MTV
Right.
movie awards or music awards.
Rolled around on the floor.
Rolled around on the floor.
Famously rolled around on the
Did
floor.
she hump the floor?
She didn't. She got to the humping later.
She didn't not hump the floor.
I think the only thing that you could say about Like a Virgin is like, you could think of it. I mean, there's a famous Reservoir Dogs interpretation, right? Which has to do with the sensation of the man is making her feel like what it's like to be a virgin. You could make it a little bit more PG-13 if it was like, oh, it's like you're my first love. but it's still somebody that's had a lot of sex either way, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is like when I used to be a virgin, which is a while ago.
Right.
Back in the dark ages, before the Renaissance.
So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, and she walks that line, right, where it's trashy, exploitative on the one hand, but then also sort of feminist, empowering at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like when I used to be a virgin, which was a long time ago. In your face, deal with it, right? And then she sells it and owns it, and sells
we
it.
bought it.
Yeah, you bought it. So there's a tie, though.
What was the second?
Between Like a Virgin.
Well, and Vogue, of course. Vogue.
Yeah, Vogue is still a pretty good song.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good song.
And it's a really good video.
Thank you. David Fincher was going to direct Truth or Dare.
It would have been better.
It would have been better.
That would have been a lot of time invested for Finch.
Well, he directed Vogue.
Yeah, I know, but he directed Vogue, Express Yourself, and Oh Father. So that was all the same album. But this is recording for almost a year. I mean, it's like months and months and months.
What did he do? Go do Alien 3?
Well, I like that movie.
Right.
It's better than Alien Resurrection. Thanks, Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Yes, thank you for Amelie.
Yeah, but not that.
We digress. Back to Madonna.
Hey, by the way, that Alien movie from last year is quite good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a movie that got
Alien vs. Predator?
We were talking about Solo before and it's kind of gotten a bad rap for not making enough money. And that Alien movie that came out last summer, that also didn't make a ton of money, but it's actually quite good.
All right. Well, there you have it.
This has been Talkin' Alien with Gary and Eric. Vogue. Yeah, that's still, it holds up.
Yeah, Vogue's a
it
good
holds up.
album, song.
Gary, what's your favorite? Alien Covenant, it's called. Alien Covenant. It's on HBO right now, by the way.
I guess I probably always enjoyed Into the Groove, maybe?
Yeah, Get in the Groove, that's a good song. I think Like a Prayer is my favorite song by her. Still like it.
Of all time? Ever?
Yes.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that I really want to listen to any of this ever. And I don't know if it's because I listened to it already enough.
Well, yeah,
because of my sister in the 80s. Or if it's just not my jam. I mean, like, Get in the Groove has got a nice bass line.
Yep.
If that was on at a wedding, I would dance.
Okay.
You know? If Vogue was on, that would be fun. But, like, I don't get a whole lot out of listening to any of these songs anymore. And it might just be how many times I've heard them.
Well, a lot. She was, and I don't think it was just your household because of Beth. These songs.
But you have to understand, Gary, it was also my household because of Beth.
I will never understand that. Okay.
And, like, I've heard White Heat from the True Blue album a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard that? Because I've heard it a lot.
I mean, again, I know my sister had that tape. My older sister did have that because it wasn't that. It was a blue cover with, like, Madonna had short hair with blue, looking like that. Yep. That's it.
I just did it.
Yeah, I had that. Or I mean, my sister had that, but I don't remember hearing that song.
Yeah, it had, like, an audio clip of Jimmy Cagney in it and everything. Yeah. I was aware.
And that
this
was
is when we were in
Preach,
the
right? Was
this
that
is when
That was also on that album.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's some good songs on it.
Papa Don't Preach.
It also has Live to Tell from Vision Quest.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Shawn years.
Yeah, Vision Quest is a Matthew Modine movie. Oh, wait. Crazy for You is from Vision Quest. Live to Tell is from At Close Range, starring
Which was
Sean Penn. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is the tail end of the Sean years, because she divorced him, or they got a divorce in 88. Mm-hmm. So Like a Prayer is her post-divorce album. So all the biggest hit stuff happened in the
So the cross
pre-Sean.
burning could also have something to do with,
Sure.
some.
I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, we're not doing Like a Prayer, but there's like a straightforward breakup divorce song on Like a Prayer, that album, where she talks about like getting beat, almost, and it's like I guess she could say, it was a character or whatever of somebody who was being beat by her husband, but come on,
We know it was you, Madonna. What else can I call her?
Madge,
Okay.
M,
Okay.
Apparently
Emmy.
Esther.
Mo.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Esther's about.
Is that her middle name?
No, Madonna Louise
Veronica
Ciccone. Yeah.
Okay.
Penn, not Penn.
And I guess, was she married to Guy Ritchie?
Yeah.
Is she not now?
No.
Oh no, yeah, she was married to him.
Okay.
And Sting is one of the godfathers of one of their children.
Who?
Sting.
Who? You
Gordon
mean Gordon?
Sumner?
Yes, okay. I know what you're talking about.
He was in the band The Police.
Oh,
and he used to
Andy,
wear like a yellow sweater that had black stripes, and people thought
Charlie
he looked like
Brown?
a bumblebee.
Oh, okay.
Madonna is the oldest of 6 children. Her mother died when her mother was 31, something like that, of breast cancer. Then many years later, like a few years later in her teen years, Dad got remarried. The dad that's featured in Truth or Dare.
Mm-hmm.
That dad?
The one that's on stage in Detroit. And he had 2 more kids. She was the oldest of 8.
Oh,
That's a lot.
man.
It's an interesting fact that her mother died at that age, because that's just about the age that Madonna was when
Almost
Truth or Dare.
exactly
Truth or
the
Dare,
same
yeah.
age, yeah. I know. Being 40, I was thinking about her as being a little desperate to seem young in this. Okay, that more to come.
Well,
in the second
yeah,
half.
we'll wait. I mean, is there anything else we want to talk about Immaculate Collection?
Well, yeah, that's her whole career.
Right.
Worst song on the album.
Rescue Me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty bad.
It's the last one, though.
Right.
Well, that's the
And
thing.
that's the where
You're always gambling with putting the new songs on the greatest hits.
Yeah.
I mean, Mary Jane's Last Dance, it worked.
It did.
Rescue Me. I mean, that was that. I don't even know if it was a hit. I just know you listened to it a lot. Was that like on the other side of your single of Justify My Love?
Oh, I didn't have the single. Mom wouldn't let me have that. So
Oh.
no, the bootleg.
I
The
feel
bootleg
like
CD.
I
Yeah.
feel like Justify My Love probably was good enough. She didn't need to do Erotica and the Sex Book since she's already done Justify My Love. It was like kind of the same thing.
It was redundant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think that's what she was. I mean, she kind of as an artist, phases. Yeah. Yeah.
The black and white rated X portion of her career.
Yep.
Pushing the envelope until it
But she-
really offends someone.
Right. And
Well,
I mean,
In that
she was-
particular way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an artist, she was at that point though where I guess she could try it.
Well, I really believe that's what she did until Sex and Erotica. I mean, we're not going to talk about the second half of her career. We could on a different episode.
Sure. Yeah, with her mom.
With my mom on, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
Oh boy.
or Alicia or one of my children.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's
No, they had to be a Spiegel in the 90s.
Oh, oof. I'm running out of those.
There
Yeah.
you are. You're going to have to come as your own twin.
Me from the 90s. But really that whole, I mean, and she says in the documentary, like, I know I'm not the best singer and I know I'm not the best dancer in the world, but I just really like to be provocative and provoke people and push people's buttons and everything. And I do, really? Shocking. But
Yeah.
like, I do think that
That's when you need a record scratch when she said that.
She did do that, but then after Erotica, she really hasn't done that again. She really regressed to pretty safe, like, ballads for a very long time. And, League of Their Own was pretty tame. And even some of the stuff that she's done since, in the past 10 years, like, none of it has been... I mean, she's getting old.
Right. Yep.
She's 60 in August.
Yeah.
She'll be 60 years old.
That's, yeah, because she was 30 in 1990. 32. But But still, I mean, in the latter half of the 90s, she was not provocative, I don't think. I don't
No,
think she was pushing
she
buttons
came back
or
with
anything.
Raylight, and I think we talked about that, how that's the second half of her, or not second half, but another phase.
Because, and that was like the Kabbalah years, right? So she had to stop, like being oppositional to daddy figures in the Catholic Church and men in general and everything.
But I think she had her kid by then, and she was even maturing even more.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that on Truth to Dare,
where she was very mature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, would you ever listen to this, Gary?
I have listened to this in the past as the one Madonna album that is in my CD collection, but I don't think I've listened to it in a while. I told my wife Kathy that we were doing Immaculate Conception and or Immaculate Collection, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you can play that all day." I enjoy Madonna, but I did not play it all day. Just do it once.
Lucky Star is in Snatch.
Oh, okay.
The Snatch soundtrack. It's a pretty good song, actually. I was like, I could listen to this. This is fun. But it's 7 minutes long. What's going on with Lucky Star?
It's a dance, yeah.
But it's so long.
Oh, what? You can't dance for 7 minutes?
No.
No, that's right.
I have my back issues. And
That's all right.
balls of my feet.
I got the goiter.
Yeah, my sciatica.
Exactly.
I need an adjustment. The other thing is I made a mix of songs for all the people in my psychiatry residency graduating class, and it was all songs called Crazy. Like Crazy by Patsy Cline and Crazy by
Aerosmith?
Gnarls Barkley, Crazy by Aerosmith.
All right, good.
Crazy for You by Madonna, but I also put Borderline on there.
Just a little. You have to read into that one a little bit.
There's a lot of crazy songs. Just called Crazy.
When was the last time you listened to this before the podcast, Beth?
It had been some time.
Yeah,
It
sure.
had been some time.
Yeah.
Well, I think for my 40th birthday party, I might have pulled up some of these songs and
Okay.
added them to the
Sure,
dance
yeah,
mix.
that makes sense.
So at least 3 years, but not start to finish. Certainly not for a while.
I feel like the ballads hold up better than some of these danceable ones. I don't know. The Immaterial Girl, that's just not that good a song, I don't think.
I like that video.
Yeah. I've seen that video too many times, though, too.
Sorry, Eric. I didn't realize this was the apology podcast.
I don't feel like you need to apologize for it, but there's just some things that you've been exposed to so much that it's just hard to even have an opinion about it anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like RoboCop's that for me.
See, RoboCop, it just still keeps getting better.
Don't get him started.
Yeah.
RoboCop and Ghostbusters. I could just close my eyes and watch those movies on the inside of my eyelids.
Sure, yeah.
me too.
I bet.
But you don't want to.
I don't want to. Make it stop.
All right, so that was the Immaculate Collection.
Yep.
Any final parting thoughts, guys?
No, I mean, I would, if you've not listened to Madonna, yeah, definitely listen to this album. That's the album I would recommend anybody to listen to. But anybody who listened to this podcast probably listened to Madonna before, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
guess if you're young.
Yeah, I mean, I tell my 17-year-old, yeah, you can listen to this album.
Yeah, I think if you'd only heard like the most recent Madonna stuff and you're like, why does anyone care?
Right.
I guess this would be the thing to listen to. I don't know.
I don't even know what the most recent Madonna stuff is.
No, I know some stuff from like 2004. There was one called Confessions of a Dance Floor that had a song called Hung Up on it that I liked.
That's quite some time ago, though.
Yeah, 2005.
That's a high schooler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember this song.
Every little thing that you do, I say, hung up. That one. I like that one. I think that was the last one I was aware of. The big hit she had post this was that Music album.
Yeah.
Music and Ray of Light. Those
Hey,
were
Mr. DJ.
yeah. And that had Music, that album that had a song, and then it had Don't Tell Me,
Yeah.
and it had What It Feels Like for a Girl. Those were all hits. But I mean, I think if some people are like, why does anybody care about the music makes the people come together person, then you
play
would
this album.
play the Immaculate Concept Collection. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a rating system, gang. It's 1 to 4 stars. 4 stars would be like Jesus. 3 stars, Mary. 2 stars, Joseph. I mean, he was there. And 1 star, maybe like King Herod.
What about if we just want Madge?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you can insert her wherever, but like,
You
whatever
should've done-
amount of stars you give her is still the same amount of
So
stars.
4 stars, it would be the Virgin Mary. 3 stars, Mary Magdalene. 2 stars, I'm running out of it. You're right. I don't have anything.
Lady Madonna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Children at your feet.
Pretty good.
So,
I feel like she would want us to say Mary Magdalene.
You
how
still
many
have to give it
stars? Yeah, how many
stars.
stars
though.
would you
I,
give
I would
this?
say 3 stars. If you feel like giving me the Immaculate Correction, then go ahead.
Oh, you're hanging on to that
nice.
one.
I wasn't fast enough whenever you messed it up a couple of minutes ago.
Well, we've needed quite a few Immaculate Corrections on this show.
Yeah, I'd give this 3 stars also, I think.
It's hard to give it stars.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
it's
you can't argue with it giving it 4 stars because
Yeah.
of the amount of stuff on there. It's just there's a lot of
and
tent.
they're all hits.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's the greatest hits. The greatest of
Well, I'll give it
greatest
3
hits.
too because I said that was
Yeah.
Mary. Okay, so it's unanimous.
Right.
3 stars.
3 stars.
All right, we're not done talking about Madonna. We will be
We're not.
back in the second half
Yeah. We hope you join us.
when we talk about Madonna : Truth or Dare.
All right.
People think that being a star is about being fabulous, being in the spotlight, having your picture taken all the time and having everyone worship and adore you. Being rich, rich, rich. Having it all. And you know what? They're absolutely right.
They say that you can't do the scene tonight, otherwise you'll be arrested.
So what's considered...
When you stick your hand in your...
I'm so desperate. For what, honey? For some fun. He loves me. He loves me not.
Any messages?
No messages.
He just wants to me.
Take your shirt off.
Want to take it off?
He really cares about me.
Hey, welcome back to my so-called podcast. I'm Eric Spiegel,
Gary Linton.
and we are joined by the unparalleled Beth Vaccaro,
Unparalleled.
nay Spiegel.
Yeah, so, right.
And we're talking
the
about-
only
we're talking
Vaccaro we
Madge.
haven't had is Julian. He's the only one we haven't had on the podcast.
He'll talk you up.
Yeah.
He'll talk you up.
We're talking Maddie. We're talking Madge. We're talking M. We're talking Mo. We're talking
Esther?
Nani. Esther. Queen of
All
Pop.
right. Queen of Pop.
We talked about the Immaculate Collection.
Yes.
Now we're talking Madonna : Truth or Dare.
The movie.
The documentary Miramax production released in theaters. It was the #1 documentary, grossing documentary of all time until Bowling for Columbine came
That's
out.
correct.
There were some other movies out. Gary, you want to talk about those?
I would love to talk about those.
Want to talk a little box office?
Yes.
Bafo
A
Bio,
little
as I call it.
Bafo. Number 10 that week was the Fantasia reissue.
Man, they really milk that vault.
Yeah. Yep. Number 9 was Marked for Death.
That is
Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal is
Marked for Death.
For death. Number 8 is Memphis Belle.
That's a Matthew Modine joint.
With an airplane, right?
Yeah.
That's the airplane.
Bomber.
Yeah. The Bronx Bomber.
No.
No. That's
Joe DiMaggio.
Okay.
And a delicious pizza at a
Yes.
local joint.
Oh. The number 7 that week was Quickly Down Under. I was enjoying that movie.
Laura San Giacomo.
Yes. And
Alan Rickman.
Yep. And Tom Selleck. Yep.
Wow, I think I missed that one.
Number 6 is White Palace.
Filmed in
St. Louis.
Yes.
Yeah.
James Spader.
Susan Sarandon.
Yes.
White Palace.
White Palace. See it
Sex.
this summer.
May, December.
So when Brad Renfro was in The Client with Susan Sarandon, he would tease her about White Palace on the set of the movie.
Oh, yeah?
I guess I'm going to go home and watch White Palace. And she's like,
Nice.
shut up.
That's a fun tidbit.
I got tidbits for days, Gary.
You
That's
you
none
got-
of my business.
right. You got a lot
I'm
of-
seeing a doctor about it.
Number 5 is Reversal of Fortune.
Ooh.
Yes.
With Glenn Close.
And
Jeremy's Iron.
Jeremy's Irons. He that hosted Saturday Night Live when this came out, and he had that robe with an Oscar on the back of it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a pretty funny bit. I mean, if you like bits,
Because the overlap in
Tidbits.
people that
Pass.
liked...
Yeah.
Can you imagine the Venn diagram of people that watch Saturday Night Live and people that went to see Reversal of Fortune in the theater?
2. I think they lived at our house.
Yeah, it was my parents.
That's right.
No way they would watch that in the theater. They wouldn't go to a movie in the theater in
the money on
1990
Heck no.
to buy
and-
bologna.
Oh, you know why? So this is the movies that were released with Immaculate Collection. So Truth or Dare was not in these because we fudged
Trying to
it.
smooth over the fudge dog.
Number 4 is Sibling Rivalry.
Oh, that's a Kirstie Alley movie.
Yeah. Number 3,
She's holding the sheet up
maybe.
on the cover.
I'm sick of your sheet.
On the cover of a magazine.
Yeah. Number 3 is Ghost. Whoa, scary movie.
Oh.
It's Ghost. It's Ghost.
The scariest thing in that movie is Whoopi Goldberg.
No, it's that guy with the crazy hair that teaches him how to move stuff with his
Yeah.
ghost powers.
Right.
Or it's the little...
Tony Goldwyn?
No, Tony Goldwyn whenever he gets taken to hell by those shadow
That's
monsters.
the scariest thing in that movie. Or that
I didn't know you could still do that.
Righteous Brothers song.
Oh, my love.
Number 2 is Jacob's Ladder.
Ooh, I wonder what happens in the second half of Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure he finally gets that ladder.
Yeah.
'Cause he goes
no,
to the-
he has it, but he loses it.
Yeah, right.
And he has to get a rag group of friends
And go
to
down
get
to the
together
hardware
to
store.
find his ladder.
Oh, he just goes buys a new one.
Oh,
Okay.
how long is that movie?
Not very long.
So the
Sounds
walk
like
is the car broken down, and they have to walk to the hardware store.
no, they
they
just
just drive there. Okay,
I mean, there's a long line.
he has to. So why does he need his friends?
Well,
Oh, because it's a big.
it's
ladder.
a big ladder.
Okay.
It's a 6-footer.
That's what she said.
Whoa.
Number 1, Child's Play 2.
Whoa.
Child's Playing.
Child's player.
That playing a child.
Man, I would have bet money in 1990 that Child's Play 2 would have been the last Child's Play movie.
Yeah.
And I would have been really, really
Yeah,
wrong
you
about
make
that.
some bad bets. This podcast.
Yeah. That grossed $10 million that weekend. I bet they
Talk
spent
about
like...
gross. It's a real slasher film.
You know what they were slashing is the budget on that movie, probably, because they probably didn't spend very much money. And
No.
they probably made it all back the first weekend.
Yes.
So
Yes, they did.
if I had been a smarter 12-year-old, I would have thought that there would be a Child's Play 3,
Oh,
because
that's
they're just
true,
printing
yeah.
money at
It
that
was,
point.
yeah. A lot of Child's Plays.
Talking Child's Play.
That's been another episode.
It's not Brad Renfro that's in Child's Play. What's the name of that kid? I mean, in Brad Renfro does the voice of Chucky, right?
No.
What's that actor's name?
I think you're right, Brad Renfro. I don't
Who
know
does the voice of Chucky?
I don't know. Beth, you know?
I can't help you on that trivia
All
question.
All right, I'll get back to you on that. Either or, right?
Yeah, you.
Brad Dourif does the voice of Chucky.
Okay.
I can't believe you had half of that. That's impressive.
What?
Chucky's actors.
Steven Dorff?
No, Dourif.
You're a Dorff.
I love Dourif.
I love Doris. That's right.
All right. Yo. This movie made a lot of money. This movie was critically acclaimed. This movie, lots of people went to see. It was talked about. It was thought about. It was provocative.
Well, the truth or dare scene sure is.
So, Beth.
Yes.
Either... Wait, first, before I ask you, had you ever seen this before?
I had.
Okay.
Yes.
Saw it back in the day?
Quite behind my mother's back, of course.
Right,
Again.
because you had
So was
that...
she able to hear it then?
Oh, no, she wasn't.
Okay.
No.
So
No,
her back-
she's using that as an expression.
Oh.
She wasn't in
was.
the room.
Okay, just behind her.
So, but, you had the Whole Blonde Ambition off of HBO at the time, and you watched that, but you didn't watch Truth or Dare in front of me.
No, I went to a friend's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd seen it on the DL back in the day.
I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it when it was released pretty shortly after.
Okay.
So back in the day.
And this is your first rewatch, I'm guessing, in 30 years.
Right, it wasn't like a yearly occurrence or anything.
Right.
But yes.
You light a candle every November 9th and watch Truth or Dare.
I do. I'm like, you guys, the birthday celebration has to stop now.
And then people walk in and you're like, what are you looking at? Either you're glad you rewatched it, or you wish you hadn't. Truth or Dare?
Oh,
Take
truth
the
or dare.
Take the dare.
Too bad on a podcast you can't see the...
I already dare you. I already dared you,
You dare me
be
to
on a
answer.
podcast.
Yeah,
I dare you to
I
ask this
know.
truth or
So, no, I think...
loophole. Or you could just blow this bottle that I have there.
I'm going to take a pass on that.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
an
think,
audio medium anyway.
I think that it's really interesting to go back and watch something and listen to something that was so important to you as a young person. Mm-hmm. As
So
kind
do we,
of-
and me and Gary do
kind
too.
of
That's
a-
why we have this
That's
podcast.
why we have
Right.
this podcast.
So as a seasoned grown person, so I'm on par with you. So
But this is like the ultimate meaningful thing to you as a 14, 15-year-old, pop culture-wise.
well,
Not this movie,
This would have
but
been,
Match.
Esther.
Meh,
Nani.
Mo.
Queen of
Yes. To kind of go and look back and look for oneself. I think it's interesting. But I have a therapist's eye this time, and it changes everything. I had a teenage girl's eye watching this and thought, wow, this is somebody that says whatever is on her mind, and
like a teenage girl.
like a teenage, really,
Yeah.
Actually, probably younger than a teenage girl in some scenes, but
Well, yeah, so I guess getting into the nitty gritty, I could ask an either or, like
Nitty gritty dirt band. Yeah.
the desert mountain, blue mountain.
Right.
I don't know what.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to just let him go on that and see how long it went.
Either. Okay, so do you remember watching this?
Yeah.
Do you think you liked her more before you watched this or after you watched this in 1991? Or 2 or 0 or whenever you watched it?
91.
I don't know. I don't know that... I think that it was more neutral. I think that I was very voyeuristic about this. Like, wow, I'm watching Madonna as she is. Wow. I mean, it just felt like I had this window into her life. I don't know that I assimilated it in that sort of specific way.
Nothing could make you dislike her at that point.
Not really, no.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Because I do think that this breaks down a lot of her previous myths about who she was, and then builds up new ones that she's deciding to create, because it is behind the scenes. Like, it is behind the scenes to a certain extent that had not really been seen before in a movie. And there was a part where she had to, like, stop singing for a while, and then she had like polyps on her throat or whatever. Yeah. And then when she went back, there were all these little catty fights between the dancers, and there was like the ones were kind of mad at her and some were mad at each other and all of this, and they were all kind of had their points of view, and that one woman was raped and they didn't really make a big deal out of it at all. That was really weird. But I was thinking, this really feels like a reality show at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was, right? I mean, they were filming all the time backstage, and then they edited it into a story. But the real world came out in 92. This was being filmed in 90. So, looking at it now, if you look at it from the lens of, like, groundbreakingness, I mean, this was probably maybe notable because it was, like, well, Warren Beatty's reaction to, like, what are you doing? Your doctor's examining your throat. Why are the cameras on, you know? Mr. Old... Yeah, and like... Okay, Dad, go away, you know? And he was old enough to be her dad. And, like, I wonder why she was dating him. I mean, he was not into it at all.
That being filmed. No, documented, I guess.
He thought it was silly and redundant.
Well, he thought a lot of things about it, but I don't know if silly... I think he was perplexed and, like...
He had a look at the
like, why are we? Why?
At that point, he thought it was ridiculous. Like, why are you filming a doctor looking at your throat?
Right.
That makes no sense to me. This doesn't, fit into my construct at all.
Well, that's a guy that doesn't want the paparazzi to take his picture, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that he would date Madonna.
What was in it for him?
Did you see her? She looked pretty damn good in 1990.
Yeah, I mean, Dick Tracy. She looked good in Dick Tracy.
She did?
Oh, yeah.
She was the killer.
Shut up. Spoiler alert! So this was post-Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
It might have been, yes, all around.
So that's where she met him?
Yes.
Got into him?
Yes.
Yeah. What?
That couple is very odd to me.
Yeah, sure.
Like, the way that they interact whenever he's watching her get her throat swabbed or whatever. Examined by the doctor, and it's all being filmed. That's what I imagined every interaction of these two people being like. Like, I can't imagine them ever having fun with one another. Like, because, I mean, for me... Go ahead.
I mean, I guess I felt like Madonna was putting on a little bit of a show because of the cameras were filming and everything like that. So,
but I mean, he makes the point of like, well, then what's the point of interacting or doing anything if the cameras aren't on?
He was saying
when is
about
Madonna
her.
Not putting on a little show? Is a good question. Like,
sure.
With the cameras off, would it be different? And would it be depending upon who's around?
Right.
Right?
Probably.
Is there anything beneath when she's not putting on a little show?
Well, yeah, and that probably has to do with him also being the director of that Dick Tracy, and, that's a different kind of relationship, and so he may have seen her in a different way as he was coaxing a performance out of her in the movie. But it didn't last very long because they were broken up before this movie even finished filming, and apparently he had said she had to take some of his parts out of it.
I'm surprised that what's in there is still in there. I'm surprised the Kevin Costner part is in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Kevin Costner at this time...
Well, you need to set it up. What I guess we've already talked about it.
This is the backstage of the LA concert, and she's already complained about there being too much industry in the first 2 rows.
Yeah, she said about, and then she also said, just because we're famous, other famous people think, we should be friends or something along those lines, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have a problem with that when it's certain people.
Right.
Like Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Pedro Almodovar. But neither one of those people were particularly famous in 1990.
Pedro Almodovar did Women on the Verge of an Hour's Breakdown.
So they were both famous in Spain.
Yeah.
I don't think that Almodovar was a big here.
I mean,
to you and I.
Okay.
I mean, in real life.
In my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't really until Philadelphia in 92 that people started to pay attention to Banderas in the States.
That's true.
Right.
But I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kevin Costner comes backstage. He says he thought it was neat.
And
he's not coming to the after party.
No.
Because he has kids and he needs to put them to bed. And then she sticks her finger down her throat when he leaves the room.
Right.
And then he won Best Picture for Dances with Wolves like 6 months later.
How do you like them apples?
Well, and she would have loved to have been in a Best Picture movie. I mean, the other interesting thing was she tried out for the Whitney Houston part in The Bodyguard, starring Kevin Costner, produced by Kevin Costner.
In what year?
92, and she did not get it.
I wonder why. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I mean, she definitely burned her Kevin Costner bridge right there. I mean, she made him look like an idiot.
She did.
Like, the way it was edited and everything. But I'm sure that's why some people like this movie, though. Like, she's ripping the veil off of how celebrities treat one another and all that stuff.
I found this movie kind of boring. That's my assessment of it.
All right.
Also, I kept thinking the portrait of an artist as a asshole is really. I mean, I didn't enjoy her Madonna as a person. I guess while I was watching this.
So I felt like I experienced it in phases. Like, at first, I thought it was just kind of a bitchy celebrity, and then sort of a normal person. Like, the part with her one brother, and then her kind of crappy brother, and then her dad.
So those were different brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
got
having a hard time.
Martin and Christopher.
She's got Chris, who's doing managing the show,
right?
And then Martin's the ne'er-do-well
who
goes to rehab,
up.
whatever. Yeah. And he showed up drunk and past her bedtime and everything,
right?
And all of that, I felt like she just seemed like a little girl. Like, she really seemed like a real person in the middle to me. Like, not particularly interesting person, but not, like, definitely deflating the mythology of Madonna. Like, she just seemed like a person. I didn't think she seemed like that attractive or that, like, interesting even, but, like, really more of a person. So that when they would show the dance scenes and everything, it was like, oh yeah, Madonna, the person we're seeing talking, is this person. And it was interesting to me to put the two things together.
Yeah, sort of juxtaposed. And also when she was talking to, I think, Sandra Bernhardt, when she was talking about her mother and how she slept in her father's bed. And she couldn't really stay with the sadness too much. Like, it was filmed where she lies down by the grave and all of that.
That was so phony baloney, right?
Yeah.
But then she's kind of talking about it, and she can't stay with that it was really sad, and that, she lost her mom and she was so young, and she, like, sort of clung to her father. She had to make, like, a real raunchy joke about it and move away from that very quickly. So, I mean, it showed a lot of immaturity, I think, on her on this 32-year-old woman.
Yeah. I mean, somebody who is powerful in a lot of ways and who has in control of a lot of things in a lot of ways, but who is also very immature, like very real in a lot of ways. Like, I think she is portrayed as... I don't think that this is an affectation. I think we get a sense of what her personality is like.
Madonna.
Yeah. And Madonna, the person on stage, is different than Madonna, the person in this movie. I think you get a sense of what it would be like to hang out with her, and that's why I say, what was in it for Warren Beatty? Because I can't imagine anyone wanting to be around her.
And that's why he went with Annette Bening right after.
Yeah.
He was like,
oh,
I'm
my
done.
goodness, seriously.
I'm going to date real
Like,
grown-ups.
Date a grown-up, and by that I mean somebody 25 years younger. I mean, Annette Bening is older now, and we think of her as older now, but that was 30 years ago.
Right.
That's correct. She was like 8.
No, she was doing like the American President and stuff at that point.
Yeah.
Bugsy.
She was
what he
grown.
Oh,
directed.
yeah.
Yep.
She did.
So he didn't have to use OK Cupid. He just
He would
shoot a
just-
movie.
Exactly.
Right. See who showed up.
Yeah. But then by the end, she was trying my patience in a major way.
Well, yeah, the movie is 2
I would-
hours long, and the end part where it's just sort of...
the truth or dare sequence is followed by the everybody gets into bed one at a time
Yeah,
naked
it
with
was
Madonna
like,
sequence.
I'm done.
And I do think that she's trying to, she's joking that should we get the X rating or the R rating for this portion of the movie? And it's like, it's just dumb. It's just boring.
No point.
Like,
There was
she
no point to it.
yeah, I mean, she's gonna she makes all these like raunchy jokes and stuff in that part, but like that's just them just like screwing around.
BSing.
Like I would have cut all that.
Yeah,
out.
there was
the
no
playing
reason
truth or
for
dare,
any of
that
that.
bed scene, all of that. I mean, I think that when she's talking to the dancers on the bed about like not feeling like she's that good a dancer or a good singer or whatever, but like there's something I want to bring to the world and challenge the world. I think she believes that, and you can tell she believes in like the stagecraft and how much she puts into the dancing.
Yeah.
That's one thing everybody does talk about her is like how much work she puts in.
And there
everything.
needed to be more of that. Sorry, you go ahead.
No, you please.
Okay.
Please.
I mean, I was wanting more, like the one scene where she's doing all the chair stuff on the stage. What song was that? It's a family.
We Are Family.
Yeah, she starts out with that, and I wanted to be like, look, this had to be rehearsed, and they had to work hard for that. Couldn't we have seen some of that?
Right. Or like John Paul Gaultier and the costumes and the set design, like that's all pretty interesting.
It's also very interesting that it's very groundbreaking for the gay community to be
Right.
portrayed in this movie.
And
that
on
was-
stage for this
And on
whole
stage,
thing.
I mean, she handpicked these dancers at New York dance clubs. I mean, so it was not happenstance that she had this collection of people that was touring with her.
And I think that, I mean, if you objectively look at the Blonde Ambition Tour, not Truth or Dare, but like the Blonde Ambition Tour, it's like, it's fairly tame, really. And the stuff that pushes people's buttons is when it's like sexiness that then moves into sort of a gay feel, or sexiness that moves into having sort of a religious overtones or whatever. Like, and she mixes all that together where people got confused. Like, she's got like a bustier or whatever, but she's got pants on underneath. Like, it's not that revealing.
No.
And then the men have these big cone breasts.
Right.
And so there's a lot of transgender stuff and homosexuality and all
Right,
that
it's
stuff.
got me all confused, and I didn't like it.
She's very masculine in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like her behavior is very masculine in this movie too.
Well, if you see-
stereotypically masculine.
If you see earlier interviews with her, she'll say, how come it is that it's only men that get what they want? I want the world to see a woman that gets what she wants. She's not going to say no matter what. And in a way, you can kind of see that even in the dancing.
But is she?
Well, and
But does she even know what she wants anymore at this point? Like, she's the richest person in the world as far as women superstars. She gets to date whoever she wants. She gets to do whatever she wants on stage,
right,
and film.
yeah, and that's like where there's a little bit of interest with this movie is like the Toronto with the cops coming and say she can't do this performance, and her saying I'm going to do that performance, and
Right.
And I guess I wonder how it really went. I mean, I guess for this film we can believe it really went down that way because they're filming it, and the cops are saying, if you do it, we're gonna arrest you.
Yeah.
And then you see that news article where it was like, no, that's not what the cops said. They
put out a statement
Yeah.
saying other things. I mean, that's kind of interesting, and in this fact that that's where I feel like she seems the most interested and energized in the whole movie is, I mean, seeing her dad, and then whenever she was going on stage to do this thing that might be illegal.
Right.
And I think that just breaking a law probably wasn't exciting to her, but breaking the law of just doing her art that she cared about, I mean, like, she really does like to provoke people, and that's a big part of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, David Mamet likes to provoke people. Oliver Stone likes to provoke people. There's provocative artists.
Banksy.
Yeah. I mean, he paints on the wall,
Exactly.
Gary.
You can't hang that in a museum.
It's street art.
Right. That's provocative.
Provocative. I keep thinking of... is it Ron Burgundy that says provocative? Or some Will Ferrell character that says that?
Yeah.
You need another Vaccaro for that answer.
Yeah. It's provocative. I just keep thinking of it. But, she does want to push people's buttons. Like, there's no reason for, in the Like a Prayer video, for her to have stigmata, except for to bug Catholics.
Exactly.
And, like,
Just
it's
stick it
only
to 'em.
gonna bug Catholics.
Because everybody else is going to be like, how'd
What?
she hurt herself?
She's not hurt anymore in the next scene.
It just went away by itself.
Yeah. Yeah, and then later on they try to, like, do that again, have the sequel blow up to be like, she's in Italy. All of a sudden the Pope's trying to...
Yeah,
or the
right.
Vatican's
Yeah,
trying to
exactly.
keep her from having her show. It's like, I don't think the Vatican has that kind of power in Italy.
Right.
To keep your show from going on.
Once it got to Europe, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I think I'm done.
It was more interesting in Japan when the rainy season hit and they had to change their costumes.
Well, and that's the first thing right away.
Yeah.
Japan is right away, and then you're like, okay, I think I found this. And then she comes to America, and, you kind of get that through line of, Los Angeles and Detroit, okay.
Los Angeles, Detroit, I lose my voice. I gain my voice in New York.
Yeah.
Then we go to Europe.
Right, and I was even
There's
okay
the one
with,
straight dancer that's always put off by the fact that everybody's gay.
Right, and they had the...
He's like, oh my god, gay stuff again.
The rumors about that she's dating that straight dancer.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know where those would come from. The one straight guy
on the tour.
And he gives her a lot of attitude at one point, too.
He does.
And
She
then
probably
even had
likes that.
And then I wasn't even sure, like, we had his little sidebar where he meets his dad.
That was pretty cute.
I mean, it was fine, but then it was kind of like, okay. I mean, I was looking at the running time for this movie.
Were you watching this today?
I did. On my computer.
I gotta go get my kid.
Exactly. And double speed.
Madonna was like a munchkin.
I did not find it boring. I found that the final 20 minutes, like, if it would have been the first 20 minutes, I would have found it grating. Just because it was just pure, I'm going to try to do some stuff that bothers you, or I'm going to try to be outrageous sexually. And it's like, so?
Well, right. You got to
So
put yourself
what?
20 years ago.
30.
30 years ago.
Almost.
But still, so what? I mean, maybe I can't do that.
Right.
I always thought that it just wasn't... It was, I guess maybe because I was associating her with my sister. When she would do, like, overtly sexual things, I could never, like, be excited by it. I was just like, I'm not okay. Let's move along. But I do think that there's a line where you can be sexually suggestive in rock music, and it works well. I mean, sex is all over rock.
Yeah.
But, like, when you get to...
Paradise on the Dashboard.
Oh, yeah.
Any
Any crotch rock
to Live Crew.
That's what I was going for.
Poison.
Poison, yeah. But there's a reason Body of Evidence wasn't a hit movie. It's like, whenever you just go there all the way and it's like full frontal nudity or whatever, anything. It's like, that's not really what people are after. We don't really want you to blow the bottle, Madonna. We want you to eye the bottle while you're singing and like make a joke about the bottle being like, you know what I mean? Like it's there was nothing that added to the movie for it to just become overtly sexual, unless it was going to become like a porno. Like I don't know what any of that added. It's like she just seemed like a real.
It did not add anything.
Right. It made me dislike her by the end.
It seemed like I
was already disliking her.
Yes, it seemed like the girl at the lunchroom table that you're like, put the pickle down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Like, why do you need more attention at this point? Like,
because that's what she thrives on.
Yeah.
She already had enough money. I mean, but you and I are grown-ups now. I mean, this is grandiose narcissism at its best.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's somebody that likes to have 50,000 people cheering for her.
Mm-hmm. Or everyone in the room. Or do I have any messages?
She took that the one lady's birthday, and she had to do that poem.
Oh, the poem for the woman. Yeah, but there's a little. I mean, I'm sure that meant something to her.
Yeah,
that's what she has to give.
Right.
Not much.
But she had to give like.
You gotta get what you give.
You gotta,
or you get what you give.
You get what you
the
get,
new,
and you don't throw a fit.
The new radicals.
Yes, that's what I was going for.
I don't know. I would say there's some stuff in this where I felt like there was some interesting insight into who she really was, and part of it is this all there is?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there more to her? And I would guess, like you're saying, maybe at this point in her life, not.
Yeah, she was 32.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that if you were being generous, she behaves as though she's about 19.
I think that's generous.
Well, there are times where she behaves as the peacemaker of the dancers, and she calms everybody down before the. And it's not like they're all waiting for her. She's a professional.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right there.
But
I see what you're saying.
But
But emotionally, there's not much insight about herself other than she knows that she wants to be provocative. She knows that she likes the attention. She knows that she likes the fame.
She
knows that she can manipulate. Like the scene with Warren Beatty about the Dolce & Gabbana blouse. I asked for something nice. He brings me this blouse. Haha, see, I get what I want. It's so young.
Yeah.
It's tremendously young.
Yeah, for a 32-year-old.
I mean, it's really young. She could buy her own blouse.
Right.
And it's not about, like, I really like this guy and, we're going to spend time together and get to know one another and connect. Yeah. It's more about...
But it might have been just the end of their relationship, though, too.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But did she ever have any substance problems or anything?
Never.
You never see her drinking.
Yeah, it never came out if she did.
Or doing drugs or anything.
Nothing. Nope.
Yeah, and she's a lot like Donald Trump.
And she's fiercely works out. I mean, has worked out for years. And
I watched a little documentary about her early life, and that's what everybody said was the amount of work she put into like dance school. Mm-hmm. In like elementary and high school, but then also when she got into like I guess the University of Michigan, because she was in Detroit. But anyway, in that dance school, she just worked harder than everybody else. Mm-hmm. She was just always there, and everybody knew she was a very talented dancer, like ballet, and that just always working. I mean, it's not a classic.
It's not entitled
rock star personality,
and it's not. I mean, that's not entitled. I mean, that's a very strong work ethic.
Right. She could just never work hard enough to be a good actress.
Or really a good singer. I mean, if we're going to be honest.
No, she's not a very good singer.
No, she's not.
Some of the problems with some of these songs on the Immaculate Collection is her vocal range is problematic for the song.
Yeah.
She was fine in a league of their own.
Yeah, that's exactly where she shines. Is like, I mean, she's basically playing herself in that movie, though.
Well, you can say she's playing herself in like Desperately Seeking Susan.
Sure.
Yeah. Right.
Who is
tough talking
girl?
Italian American broad that speaks her mind.
Yep.
Right.
But she's trying to be Marilyn, and who's that girl? She had that whole I'm Marilyn Monroe phase.
Yeah. Material Girl.
Yeah.
Material Girl.
material, though. Yeah, that's what gentlemen prefer blondes. See, you had a Marilyn phase. Was that an offshoot of the Madonna phase?
Did I have? It was. It was a tributary, if you will.
Yeah. All right. We had a rating station today.
Has Madonna left you speechless?
We have a rating system.
Yep.
4 stars, Gary.
Yes. Is a well-deserved classic status?
Or truth.
Oh, okay.
3 stars. Half truth.
Okay.
2
stars would be
Fudge.
a lie by omission.
Oh, okay.
1 star is a bald-faced lie.
Bald face lie. Beth, what are you going to give Madonna? Truth or dare?
Truth by omission. Oh,
That's a 2-star?
yeah.
I never keep
lie
track
by
of what Eric gives us.
Yeah. If you're expecting Gary to listen to me, you've come to the wrong podcast.
Yeah, I guess I'd give this 2 stars also. I mean, I think the performances are pretty impressive. That, it goes in.
You'd recommend
full
they just
color.
watch the Blonde Ambition tour?
Yeah,
you can do that on
maybe
YouTube.
Yeah, maybe. And but yeah, Madonna was kind of grating, and it went on too long. And at the end, it was kind of like, man, this isn't needed. But so 2 stars.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't hold up well. I found it entertaining, but I do think it's an artifact of the times. Like, if you were tracing the American zeitgeist of, like, from paparazzi following around celebrities to we've got cameras on our celebrities 24 hours a day and we edit it down into a television show. This is right there in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because, what's better than having pictures of celebrity? There's video of them doing stuff backstage.
Yeah.
She's topless and cursing, and her boyfriends are there and everything. So but she's sort of, this isn't something you're going to take from me. It's something it's going to be a product that I put out in the world, which is, that's her, that's her deal. I'm going to sell the thing you want out of me, and I'm going to have control over it.
Like prostitution in a way.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Welcome
on
to
her
the
terms.
Recording industry.
Yeah, I mean, talk to George Michael, right?
I know, he's dead. I can't.
You didn't make that call in enough time, Gary.
No.
Well, you never listen to me, Gary. I keep telling you to talk to George Michael, and you
That's
never
right.
listen
I
to me.
remember that.
He gave you his number and everything.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to an episode of My So-Called Podcast. Okay.
I've been Eric Spiegel.
And I've been Gary Linton.
Thanks so much for joining us, Beth.
My intense pleasure.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
Just a good night's sleep for all.
We want to thank Don Spiegel for writing our theme music.
Yep.
And performing it. We want to thank all of our dedicated listeners all over the world. You can find us on the Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts.
Please do. We're on Spotify.
Yep, and Gary and I are also on Twitter. Oh yeah, we're one of them Spotify podcasts. Not everybody gets to be on Spotify.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Yep.
You gotta have 100 podcasts. You have to have 100 episodes or more, right?
No.
But we have that too. Please join us in 2 weeks where we will revisit A Week in the 90s. We'll play by the rules next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.